How's it going, everybody? My name is Skylar Gear, and this is a country singer reviews country music. All right, today we're going to be reviewing a friend of mine, Carver Lewis. He's got a new EP. It's called After Midnight, the Worktapes. Let's get into it. All right, for the album cover, it's literally just Carver holding a guitar, sitting in an old chair in the corner of a room. Pretty sure that's at his house with the green walls. And then it just says After Midnight, the work tape. It's pretty cool. Kind of gives it a After Midnight vibe for sure. I'm digging the album cover. All right, with most of these reviews that I do, I like to listen a few times, and I will continue to do so, but I just gave it a quick rundown, 2 listens each song, so I could really break down the lyric and break down what I'm hearing. Carver and I have been good friends for nearly 10 years, and we both love country music, and we are both musicians, artists, songwriters, and we are almost polar opposite of our sound and the production that we do. He calls me Southern rock with country vibes. I'm fine with that. I've always kind of leaned toward the more country rock. I've got a new project coming out, which I try to lean more into some traditional country sounds and a little bit of 80s flair. And then Carver leans more the other way, more toward the pop world, the country pop, the Jordan Davis, the Sam Hunt, Morgan Wallen, shall I say. I like to call that Southern pop. So you could say Carver's Southern pop and Skylar's Southern rock. I'm cool with that. First song's called Move On. I've heard him play this live a few times, but it's nice to kind of hear it in all production, and then it's just isolated me in my headphones. Starts off with a nice acoustic, very light piano in the background of the mix, and the vocals are obviously right out front from the get-go, which is awesome. Always a good thing for me. That's what I love. That's what I strive to do with my music. Some of my early stuff wasn't that way. Production wasn't quite there. Lyrics are the most important. Singers are the most important. Got to hear that stuff. So production-wise already, this is a win. This is a smashed it out of the park for sure. There's some harmony in this song, which is awesome. It's very acoustic-driven the whole way through. Again, these are work tapes. He kind of warned me about that. It's like this is very stripped down, very open. I know he put this together with his friend John Morgan, who is a big-time songwriter and artist himself out there in Nashville. Production-wise, based off this song, I can already tell this is going to be Carver's best work. It's very well done. It's really cool. Acoustic guitar solo. And the song itself is just about a guy struggling to get through a relationship. Like this girl might be kind of dragging it out or leading him on or whatever the case might be. He's like, just move on already. Leave me alone. Quit coming around. Quit calling my friends. Just let me move on. You move on, then I can move on. So I think most of us can relate to that. I mean, that's obviously nothing we haven't heard before. But the song itself is really well put together, and I dig it. My only critique would be I want, the full production. I want the drums, and I want a little more ripping guitars and whatever, maybe even some steel guitar. But again, Carver's a buddy of mine. He told me these are pretty stripped-down work tapes, and they're really well done at that. That would be my only critique here. And we might get to that point. That's probably the goal. So overall, Move On. I dig the song. All right, song number 2 is called Fixin' To. I've heard him perform this one live many times, but as always, it is nice to hear a full production and just isolate it, me in the headphones. So we've got some mandolin, I'm pretty sure, alongside the acoustic to start here. Very slow start. And then when we hit the chorus, we're into that full-time feel. Kind of drives it. Kind of makes the song feel quicker than it is. Production, again, is awesome. The song itself, we're talking about a relationship. It's almost like a sequel to the first song, the Moving On song. It's like the girl's finally gone, and now you're just kind of left there thinking, what went wrong, and how can I move past this? You're fixing to move on. I'm fixing to. That's kind of that Southern phrasing. I haven't heard that in a while, honestly, since I lived in Tennessee. So it's a solid song. I don't think it's quite as strong as that first one, Moving On, but this one's definitely catchy, and I think a lot of people will dig it. So, track number 3, I Knew You Win. Buckle up, because I got a lot to say about this one. This one starts with some light keys, very reverby, very 80s vibes. So you already know, based on what I've already told you about my music, I'm already in 100%. Love it. It's kind of like a synth pop intro almost. Vocals are very soft, but again, they're out there in the mix. You can hear them. Sounds really good. This one leans even more pop than the other two, but it's a good lean. because it's diving into more of an 80s vibe, which I totally dig. The song itself is talking about this girl who's kind of grown up, moved out of her small town, and she's kind of like this big city girl now. Maybe she got famous or semi-famous, or maybe she's bigger on social media, or whatever the case may be. Everyone in the hometown is like, yeah, she's changed, and don't go around her, or don't go get your heart broken by her. And this guy keeps coming back to like, damn, I knew her back when, but I knew you back when. It's like he's talking to her, and she's just changed. She's more not the same person, basically. Like, she used to not care about what people think, and now it seems like that's all she cares about. So again, like, all three of these songs are almost about the same relationship, looking at them from different ways. Like, okay, you need to move on, quit screwing with me, and then, all right, you're gone, quit coming around, I'm fixing to move on, you go move on. And now we're almost taking it from the broad perspective of everybody, like, okay, she's definitely changed. Like, this is not the same person that I potentially fell in love with. Of course, there's always two sides to every story, but we're not going to get her side. We only get the side of the songwriter. This is my favorite song of the three. The only thing holding me back is I need some big gated drums in there. Production, just... But again, these are work tapes. Relax. Maybe we'll get there. But I really dig this song. Overall, Carver Lewis, After Midnight, the work tapes. This is a pretty solid, very strong 3-song EP. Production's incredible. Very well put together. Definitely has the country elements. Carver's got a little bit of a drawl to his singing voice, so that kind of brings it back for sure to that mainstream country. And all 3 songs are just about relationships falling apart, and potentially the girl left the guy, and he's just trying to pick up the pieces. It's really solid. It's definitely his best work. So if you haven't listened to Carver Lewis, After Midnight, the work tapes, please go check them out. Carver Lewis is obviously a friend of mine. Hopefully he doesn't get too upset about this review. This is just my honest review. Some people may not agree with it. That's okay. Would love to see your review. Any review for Carver Lewis is awesome because it only helps him. And it kind of gives us a sneak peek into what he might have coming. Carver sometimes gives me sneak peeks into what he's going to do with new music. Not always. You know, us songwriters, artists like to keep some mystery to it all. Like, I'm working on my own album project. My wife, a lot of my family, they've only heard 1 or 2 of these songs. Definitely like to keep that mystery. My name is Skylar Gear. I'm a country singer-songwriter from Sandy, Utah. Got new music coming out soon. Be sure to go check out my good friend Carver Lewis and his new EP, After Midnight, the work tapes. If there's any other albums you'd like me to review, drop them in the comments. Always be sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.